Hey guys, welcome back to another KevCAM night class tonight. Tonight I have Mr. Steve Welsh helping out with any questions, concerns, or issues that come up along the way for you guys. Steve, are you with us?
I am. Evening, everybody. Thanks for the attendance today. And I got to be honest, I'm actually a little bit excited to sit through this session as well. I'm a little bit informed on what's new in 2017, but this will be my first real in-depth look at it as well. So again, thanks for your time. Hope you find it really valuable.
Yeah, absolutely, guys. And I do see quite a few new names in here that I haven't seen any before. So for those of you guys that are new, we do use GoToWebinar for these KevCAM night classes. That does put everybody on mute just to eliminate any background noise for you guys. If you guys do have questions, excuse me, which I definitely hope you guys do, I took a little screenshot here of kind of what the control panel looks like for you guys. And if you guys just hit this little arrow out right here, that's where you guys can pop open that questions panel and ask those questions. And then Steve will stop me in my tracks and we'll get your questions answered for you guys right away.
Perfect.
These classes are solely just for you guys. So if you guys do have ideas or suggestions, send those over to me in an email and we'll send you off some SolidCAM swag as a thank you. And we welcome all your guys' ideas. I've gotten some fantastic ideas from you guys on stuff to show you guys. But yeah, like I said, these are just for you guys. So just a complete learning experience. And if you guys do have something that isn't in our arsenal that we haven't done yet, let me know and I'll get those added in there for you guys. And for you guys that are new here, I'm going to put my email address into the chat area so everybody can see that for you guys. And now, if you guys are unfamiliar, I do have a YouTube channel that I started about a year and a half ago now. All of the night classes are recorded, but we do a lot of additional videos in here. Mark does a fantastic job at doing some of these shorter videos on just kind of little tips and tricks. That way we don't have to do maybe a whole night class on it, or if it's something just quick and easy that we can whip up for you guys. So definitely any of those suggestions, let us know and we will definitely add a video for you guys. And like I said, we want to blow you guys away with as much free training as we can provide you guys. And then if you guys are at the university channel here, if you do hit the search, that is the best way to search through anything inside the channel here. There's getting to be quite a bit of content in here with all the videos that we're constantly adding in here. So that search button does tend to help out quite a bit instead of having to scroll through it. But if you guys are looking for something, email myself or any one of the tech guys, or give us a call and we will find that video. And if not, we will make that video for you guys. So,
hey, Kevin, can I chime in with one
Absolutely.
more thing? We're always interested in feedback from the user community. So if anybody has ideas for enhancements, please let us know. We take everyone to heart. We can't promise that every thing you'd want to see in the software we can do. But the point is, if we hear it enough, we listen and we'll do our darndest to build that into the software. A couple things come to mind. The probe module, we just got inundated with requests. Hey, I really want to see probe inside of SolidCAM. It would make my life easier. Lo and behold, developed probe module right inside of the package. Same thing with the hole wizard. If you're using the hole wizard in SolidWorks to design parts, we heard a lot that, hey, the intelligence is in the model. Why can't I utilize that? Well, we did. We took that to heart and have developed a hole wizard module inside of SolidWorks to make programming holes a lot easier. So really, if you have any ideas for improvements, enhancements, additions to the software itself, please let us know. We'd love to hear them.
Yeah, absolutely. And what I'm going to actually cover tonight is the what's new in 2017. A lot of these ideas have come in from you guys. So, they've been added in there. And like Steve said, we listen to you guys. So we will definitely get those added in there for you. All right. Well, with that being said, let's dive into the what's new here. Let me close out of this one here. What I'm going to kind of do is kind of go through this. There's quite a bit here. what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through every single one of these slides for you, but I got a couple parts lined up for examples for you guys to kind of show you how it works and how it works inside the software. And so we'll just kind of be flipping back and forth between this document and the SolidCAM screen. So first thing has been a big thing is the 4K. A lot of the newer computers are coming out with 4K display. Now all our icons, everything will show up exactly how it's supposed to be with those 4K monitors that you guys are running, and the newer computers that are coming with now. Nice crisp icons on there. We can thank Jack for that. He's been in icon land for quite some time on getting these all updated to the 4K. So, but also you guys will see a completely new look to it. Let me hop over here. You guys will see that we can either go from our classic view right here, where we actually have colors, or we can go to the I don't know what they call it, the modern look, I guess you would say, and it's a little bit less colors, but it kind of coincides with what SolidWorks has. For those of you guys that are interested in that, to switch that around, you come up to your SolidWorks settings right here and come to colors, and here's where you can switch it from the default or to classic. Preferably myself, I'm used to the old way and I like color, so I stay with the classic, but if you guys want to go to the default one, that option is there too. Also, what we've done is change the size of these. So in your ribbon, you guys can actually go to your settings right here, or actually I can just do it for you guys, and go to button size, and you guys can change your button size, so we can do a medium or a large. That way, you know, might not have to get those reading glasses out as much. No, I'm just kidding. But you guys do have the options to completely customize these up here. So just kind of, you know, changing up the interface, just the looks, get it a little bit more modernized look for everything. You'll see the 2D machining is completely changed. And I'm going to cover this in a little bit later, but, you know, one thing we have added in with the 3D HSR and HSM, there's a lot of different options in there for you guys. So instead of just coming up here and clicking the button, they actually have flyouts now for you guys. So you guys can click on that and just grab your, you know, maybe you just want to do pencil milling, and then it's going to open right up to pencil milling, but I'll get into that in a little bit for you guys. So there's one nice little change that they've done for you guys. Like I said, here's kind of the old school way, or I guess the modern look, and here's more of the old school way, and you guys can switch those back and forth as you please, but it's completely up to you guys on what you guys want, if you guys like color or don't like color. Here is a big one. We have introduced the smart face chaining. What the smart face chaining does is it will automatically chain your part for you. So with that being said is you can just click on the surface. It's going to chain off all your islands, your walls, everything that needs to be chained off, but it will automatically recognize for you guys an open edge or a closed edge. So we got our part here. If we come just do a pocket operation, and this works in any operation, go to pick new geometry, you have what's called smart face right here. With the smart face, all you have to do is just click on the face you want to machine down to, and we have all our chains right here. So if I kind of zoom in here, now right now I have it in my settings to show the chain on working plane, but you guys can turn that off. But if I kind of zoom in here, you'll see I have all my chains all chained automatically. Some are semi-open, some are fully opened, and you'll see that the line is black on all those open edges for you guys, to kind of show you guys, you know, just to make chaining a lot easier for you guys. So that's one new thing that they've added in there this year. But kind of on that talking subject, this kind of comes up quite a bit on the support side of things, is when you guys do standard chaining, by default, these are automatically turned on for you guys. So the tangent propagation and the constant Z propagation are automatically turned on. You guys can turn these off. I know when you guys are chaining stuff, you just want to do one single line, and then boom, it wraps around the entire one. You guys can have the option to turn that off, and that's right inside your settings. I'll just get there for you guys real quick. And if we go down to geometry right here, just uncheck the tangent propagation and the constant Z propagation, and that will turn that off for you guys. So, and then here's where that show chain on working plane pops up. So you can uncheck that or leave it checked however you please. All right. So any questions with the new pocket style or chaining style with the smart face? Works real slick. Like I said, and this can be used on, works best on the pocket or eye machining. But like I said, you can just click on the surface and it's going to chain that. It recognizes that all these walls are all open and we have one area that's not. So makes chaining a lot easier and picking geometry a lot easier for you guys just to be able to select on the face for you guys. So, all right. And so, yep, we covered that. Now, also, you can actually create geometry externally. This kind of came as a customer request. Not 100% sure all the times you'd use it, but basically what's going on is if we go in here and you can right-click on geometry and add a face, profile, pocket, drilling, thread milling. So if we just did drilling, and let's just say we want to do that hole, and that that geometry is already there for you. So when you guys come up to do a drilling operation, you can just grab that from the select down menu here. So it's kind of nice. Not sure 100% why you'd use it, but there's definitely, I'm sure, a way that I'm not seeing it. So that option is there for you guys now to add geometry without even adding an operation in there. Now, as you guys get going in here, as you guys get programming, you guys will give a whole long list of stuff in here. One thing to do is when you guys before you guys close out of a project, if you want to make the file size a little bit smaller, what you guys can do is come up here and do a cleanup CAM part. And this, we will remove any G-code files, any updated stock, all this other stuff in here, and you guys can hit all of them. It's going to remove any unused tools, any unused fixtures, or maybe you just want just one of them removed. This will reduce your file size quite a bit, especially removing the unused geometries right here. So just kind of keep that in mind. Kind of neat little thing. That's not new in 17, but it's a nice feature that I just wanted to bring up for you guys. Turning, I'm going to cover this turning when we're actually going to be hopping over to turning in about 2 or 3 weeks here. And I'm going to kind of cover the turning, what's new on there. I know we did have a couple of guys that wanted to see the turning, but there's not too much here. Just in the, I actually have more added to this list, so we're just going to kind of skip over the turning just for right now. So what we have now is picking from the levels. So let me just kind of show you. Let me close out of this part here. So right now we have our, a lot of times we have some stock up on top. Now what we can do is if we wanted to pocket out these holes right here, we can just do a pocket, grab our geometry. Nice thing is I can just click on those faces now and go to our tool here. Just grab that 1/2 inch end mill. Levels. So now what I can do is you'll see my upper level is set at 0. Well, I can come in here and change it. I can come in here, highlight, and click and get that to change. Or we have the drop down now of to do by stock. So it's going to automatically pick up the stock that you're using and auto populate that number for you. So you really don't even have to put that number in there for you anymore. So it's kind of nice feature that they add in there. So you can do by stock, you can do by target, or you can do user defined and just type whatever you would like in there. When you guys do the stock or target, you guys still have the option if you want to go a little bit higher than what's there. You guys can put a positive delta in there of, you know, like 10 thou, and it will go up that distance that you put in there. So yeah, kind of nice new feature that they've added in there. Let's just kind of go through this real quick, and we'll just do a save and calculate. Now, one other thing in here is the multi-level. So this is a new feature. I think they added in, 15, where you can do variable levels. So it will automatically pick up the floors. So if you go to a variable level, but before we weren't able to set a upper level. Now, if you guys have different, you know, heights in here, and let's say, you know, you guys face milled everything off, and you have a pocket that's, you know, you face milled off, you know, a 1/4 inch, and your one pocket is a 1/4 inch deep, and the other pocket's a 1/2 inch deep. Well, instead of doing that extra feed move, kind of slowly coming into that pocket operation, we can actually set that upper level now in your operation of the multi-level picking, I guess I should say. All right, so you got those two covered there. Now, also with the pocket operation, you have the ability to do a pre-drill, kind of like how iMachining did it. So if we come in here, and let me just turn this toolpath off real quick, and we'll just do a quick drilling. And we'll just do pick position, and let's say we have a drill hole there and a drill hole here. And we'll go ahead and grab a tool, and let's grab a new drill here, and we'll just say it's a 3/4 inch drill. Levels, got that. Tip, technology, we're good to go. Save and calculate. And I'm going to bring this pocket operation below. And now if I go into my pocket operation and we go to link under ramping, if we do vertical, and we can do pick my drill operations over here on the left hand side. So I'm telling it to go into where those drill operations were. Save and calculate. And you'll see that we're should be not starting where it's supposed to be. Let me look here. Should be picking up that drill. I'm going to say there's apply all. Maybe that's what we have to do here. There we go.
That looks a little better, Kevin.
Yep. So now we're starting.
Thought I had one.
I thought I started sweating a little bit there.
Yeah, I got a little hot.
Yeah. So now we're starting exactly. This has been a huge request by you guys, picking those spots and without having to actually have an actual point to pick off of. So now we're able to pick off of the drill geometry that was already there. So nice new feature that they added in there. Also, I think I have one other talking subject on this one. Let me just look real quick. No, that's it for pocketing. So here's another new one that we've added in there is the thread milling. Now, thread milling's been around forever and ever. But now, let's say to kind of streamline things a little bit faster, what we can do for the drilling portion is if you guys do a drilling, and let's say we're going to thread mill that hole. So we got our drilling, got our geometry. We can go ahead and grab a tool. Grab our drill levels, and we can just do full diameter. And let's go into the depth of part. Let's just go just a hair past so we don't have the little lip there. Let's just do a -10 thou here. technology. Oh, we're not going to worry too much about it. Save and calculate. All right, so I just drilled my hole. Now I want to go to thread milling. Well, before we'd have to close out of this operation and go into it. So now all we have to do is just do the save and copy button, come up here and grab the thread milling feature, and now we can go right into the thread mill. So we can come in here, add our thread mill, and everything's already set for us. We don't have to reset any parameters, although depths are still good. Everything carried over from the initial drill operation and carried over into here. So, and I get a value. Oh, let me just do this. If we go to Tool and doing a, can't remember what size that is again, half 13. Let's just go for that. Thread cutting length cannot be greater than shoulder length. Oh. And now we can get right into our thread milling. For those of you guys who didn't know, if this value does come in 0, you guys can actually set that up in your tool select right here if it's common thread size, and you guys can just pick from the table here instead of having to get the machinist handbook out and looking up the major thread diameter for you guys. So a nice feature, just kind of make ease of use for you guys when you're kind of switching back and forth. And I'm looking at the time, and I got to get going here, Steve.
Start keeping you honest.
Yeah.
Until midnight. No.
Yeah. Everybody be snoring by then.
Mm-hmm.
So now when you actually choose a reamer in a drilling operation, it will automatically default to the correct cycle for you guys. So it knows in the tool library to, I guess the tool library and the technology section of the drilling are all linked together now. So when you guys actually pick a new reamer, it's automatically going to default to the reaming cycle. And you guys can actually change that around too. If you want it to default to, maybe you just want to do a G81 in there, you guys can have a default to that too. So nice little feature in there for you guys. So, here's one that someone in the class, I can't remember, George, this may be your idea. I can't remember 100%, but the V carving. V carving is pretty cool to kind of get that stylish look using those bold letters. And to get this, all you have to do is just go to your technology, do the middle line only, and then hit the little checkbox right here for V carving. One thing, if you're not getting the exact look that you're looking for, just turn down this minimum contact angle, because we're just trying to contact at too many different angles. So if we turn that down just a little bit, you'll get more of, and it all depends on the font that you're using. So some of the bold letters, we can just leave at default. Some of them are kind of popping up as, the V carving is hitting on some, but not the others. And that's where we can kind of turn down that V carving. And George, yep, that was you. So perfect. Thank you, George. We got it, or we added it in here just for you. But no, and like Steve said, you guys, we listen to you guys. Our slogan is leaders in integrated CAM, but I also like to say customer-driven software more than anything, because we really lean on you guys a lot and take your guys' ideas all the way up to the top. So, all right. Now, in a open pocket scenario, you guys actually have the option to do a auto extend. So with this picture is, from the left and right side here, it's a little kind of hard to see here, but right here, we have an island, which is a closed wall right here, and then over here is open. So without the auto extend on, it just kind of goes around and stops. But now we have the ability to extend that even farther on those open pocket extensions. So you guys can just hit the little checkbox here for user-defined angle and add that in there, and that will actually extend past with a little angle on there. And that way we kind of eliminate some of that sharp jerkiness also. So we have the ability to kind of extend that around a corner with that delta angle in there for you guys. So got it today. Let's see, what was tech video called for webinar? Having trouble finding. Oh,
sorry, Kev.
No problem. I just kind of glanced at it at the corner of my eye. Ben, I just put the link into the chat for you guys. I should have told you guys this at the beginning. If you guys go to YouTube and type in KevCAM and just do a search, oh, it probably won't pop up because it's my page, but you should see my ugly mug pop up, and then it should say SolidCAM University. So, were you able to find it, Ben? Yep, I saw that one. Okay. Perfect. All right. So yeah, we got the ability to go add those delta angles in there. Now, also with the toolbox cycles, the additional zigzag feature, we do have pre-drilling also. And for those of you guys, I just actually showed this to a customer the other day and didn't even know about that. So if you guys don't know about the toolbox cycles, let me just kind of get back to the screen here. There is a lot in here, toolbox cycles, of a lot of cool stuff that they've kind of added in there. And this this additional zigzag now has the ability to do a pre-drill right here, to do a pre-drill for those slots. So if you guys are trying to drill out a slot, this now works perfect with it to kind of approach in. But great technology here, and I kind of covered this in another night class, but this is definitely one of my favorite ones inside here for getting material, because doing slots, it's never easy on the cutter. You know, obviously if we drill it out and then we can kind of come back and through and do it, but this additional zigzag really does take a lot of pressure off that cutter, doing a nice zigzag going back and forth, working its way around. So, all right. Now with the Tamper Recognition, we have the ability to do a 3D model protection. So when you guys do a Tamper Recognition, you guys have the ability to actually enter in a safety distance to keep that tool in there. And this is actually projecting off of the surface NURB of that SolidWorks model. So it's very accurate now with the 3D protection, and also adding in that safety distance. So if you guys are getting into a tight corner, the tool, instead of kind of coming right up next to it, you guys can actually type in a distance in there now. And so that tool isn't, you know, maybe your tool is just a hair bigger than what you said, and it's not rubbing on that the edge over on the right side or left side. So yeah, drag down my questions here. Okay, so iMachining. What's new in iMachining? Lots of good stuff. Let me just kind of open up a part here, and let me get over to a different part here so we can kind of match along. There it is. Okay, so the things that have changed in iMachining quite a bit. I got to grab a different material here. We'll just do A13. We have what's called the dashboard now. Everything that you guys need is all on one screen. So for your geometry, to grabbing your tool, to your upper and lower levels, to your how aggressive you want to be in that cut, your morphing spiral, your wall offset, floor offset, all that finishing stuff here is all on one page for you guys now. What they've done now, if you need to get to just each one, then you guys can come over here and I just throw a tool in here so it stops sparking at me. I'll go with that one. And now if we go in here, you know, you guys still have the ability to kind of come in here and kind of see the feed rates and all that stuff. But for those that are just, you know, quick trying to get by, you guys have what's called the dashboard. Real nice feature. So, you know, come in here, and maybe we just want to machine out the top. Grab that. Oh, shoot, I already grabbed my tool here. Upper level is we can grab right. See if I can get an endpoint here. Guess not. And pocket depth. Maybe I want to machine this going level 8 here. Geometry is all set. Also, what it looks like with the iRough plus finish, some kind of new features we've added in there is the floor. So we've added in there last year being able to do a contour, excuse me, of the floor. But now what we've added in there also is an RA finish. So if you guys are trying to achieve a certain RA finish in here, we have the ability, and for some reason my number is getting a little, oh, these are metric, because I opened this part up in metric. So if you guys are an inch, this will actually, let me just hop out of this run real quick. No, and I'll just go back to that other part real quick because that was in English. So if we do 2DI machining, let's grab that machine. And now if I do iRough plus finish, do floor, we have RA, 1, 2, all the way up to 125 RA finish. So you guys can actually specify a certain finish call out for your floor or your wall. So this is a real nice feature. One thing to take in consideration is the RA finish is all based off of your cusp height to get that surface finish, and it's basically kind of just a simple math algorithm that kind of goes on behind the scenes. This does not take effect for machine flex or if a tool is out of alignment or anything like that. So if you guys do select a 32 RA finish, there may be some times where you may get just a little bit higher, and that's just because of, like I said, machine flex or maybe a little bit of run out of the tool, stuff like that. But it does work very nice, especially if you guys are trying to specify a specific finish in there for you. So like I said, everything's kind of added in the dashboard. Now, just out of curiosity, do this real quick here, is so you kind of see how our dashboard is set up with iMachining. Is this something that you guys would like to see in a lot of the pocket, the drilling, the thread milling, profile, face milling operation? If I could just get some feedback from you guys, let me know if that's something that you guys would like to see in there for kind of everything, kind of simplify things, or if you guys kind of like the old way where you kind of go through everything and kind of work your way through it. Anybody?
Not seeing anything, and I'm paying attention, Kevin.
Okay, I'm getting.
Yes.
Okay. So I will. We'll get that. See if we can get that kind of added in there for 17 for you guys. And there's actually even more cool stuff coming in 18, but I can't show you that yet. But soon. Okay. Let's get back on track here. So we got the RA finish. When you guys are doing your save and calculate, it's going to show you a full progression bar telling you, what it's building at that moment. So before we're just kind of getting a basic. Now we can actually see what 100% it is doing in there and what it's calculating. And, if you have one that's taking a little bit longer, you can kind of see and pinpoint and kind of isolate where that's coming from. Now, with that being said, I'm going to skip over this one real quick and come over to this one right here. Is if you guys are doing a 3D iMachine operation, you guys actually have the ability, if you guys go to your geometry and click on the stock, you guys can actually uncheck any unwanted stuff that doesn't even pertain to 3D iMachining. Let's say you guys did a complete finished off a part. You guys have 30 operations done on side 1, and we go to flip it over on side 2. We can ignore all those operations from side 1 and just check which ones we want to do. So let me kind of show you guys how that looks here. Close out this to get back to the other part here. So if we come and do our 3D eye machining, And now, if we go to the stock, you can see it's set to automatic, or like I said, we have the option to do by selected operations, and all the operations will actually populate in the tree for you guys. So this will definitely speed up the calculation time a lot, especially if you guys have done a lot of stuff, and maybe you're doing an eye machining, it doesn't even pertain to a certain area of the part. We can unselect all those for you guys. So now, one thing with the 3D General is, let me just grab a tool here, and let's just use this 8mm here. Levels, yeah, let's just do a save and calculate here. I sure don't like my material. Let's do that. Okay, well, let's let that calculate here and go over the ones that we didn't skip. Oop. Come on. So now in 3D eye machining, it does fully support pre-drill holes also. So that was a feature request by one of you guys. So we can actually do a drilling, and if you guys have a really deep core inside here, you guys can drill it out first, and then it's automatically going to drop right through it. But we've taken it one step further. Since eye machining is very aggressive, what it's going to do is it's actually going to look at the drill point that's left over. So what it will do is it will come straight down in, and then to kind of finish off that drill point in there for you guys, it's going to do a nice little helical move, getting that material out of there and doing a helical entry, just kind of polishing off that last little angle in there for you guys. So I guess with that being said is, so we're not dropping straight down in there, plunging and getting a little witness mark in there for, kind of plunging or doing serious damage to our tool. So it does recognize the tool size, and it will recognize the angle that it was left over by the material. So, and with that too, is eye machining will not go into a pre-drill hole if that hole is not bigger than the actual tool that you guys are planning on milling. So if you guys want to cut it close and you guys want to drill with a 1/2-inch drill and then come back with a 1/2-inch end mill, one thing I can tell you to do is just cheat the system a little bit and just tell your drill that it's a 501 drill instead of a 0.500 drill, and then it will come in there. Because it's just size on size, and with tolerancing, it will not go in there. So just make sure that drill hole is just a hair bigger than what your actual end mill that you're using for your 3D eye machining. So yep, kind of talking about, it shows up all your operations that you did. Like I said, full diameter depth. So maybe you told it to go down to 20 inches, but the full diameter depth is going to show up in here as 19.694, and that's to accommodate for that the leftover of that V shape that was in there, the angle. Also, new is we can actually pull from the material of SolidWorks. So for those of you guys that don't know or do, in SolidWorks, you guys actually have a material in here. So we actually have, well, this material is showing 304. And this can come from, the engineer, he specified the material that he wanted to use. So what we can actually do is take that into factor, and instead of having to grab a material that's going to match it or trying to connect with the engineer to figure out what material it is, we have the option to use the SolidWorks material. So we can hit that checkbox right there, and it's automatically going to grab that material in there for you guys and get everything kind of transitioned over. Tells me what operations need to be updated, and all they have to do is kind of come in here, save and calculate, kind of get everything lined back up what it's doing there, and it's pulling the material from that SolidWorks database. So another feature that you guys have suggested that you wanted to see in there, so it is in there for you guys. So, all right, the ability to ignore a closed pocket in 3D eye machining. So if we come in here, shouldn't have saved and calculated. And now you can kind of see what it's doing. We're doing the toolpath calculation using multi-core for the 1, 2, 3. Went too fast so I can grab it. So now inside here, if we go to technology, and we can actually click the box where it says ignore closed pockets. So if we just wanted to, instead of creating a bounding box to kind of chain off this outside perimeter, chain up to this right here, we can just click the little checkbox to ignore any closed pockets in there, and it will automatically wipe those out for you guys. Come on, multi-cores.
Kick in.
Yeah, I need to. This computer is going on 3 years without a reformat, and with all the stuff that's been put on here, I definitely need to do that one of these days. So now you'll see completely avoided that center area just by doing a simple checkbox using the ignore closed pockets. So normally what we would have done is come in here, do a working area, hit the checkbox and define, you know, come out here, chain this guy, constant Z, and come in here and chain the island down here, actually up here. And we'll do the and it goes around. So save you a few steps there for you guys. Just so like I said, nice feature that they've added in there. Now, if you guys don't like the dashboard, and we know that some of you guys don't like change, so you guys can actually turn that feature off in the settings, and that's just in the iMachining setting, the global settings, to actually turn off that dashboard feature. So that is the option there if you guys don't want to see it. It looks like Sydney came in for some fun. For those of you guys that don't know who Sydney is, Sydney runs the other YouTube channel, which is called the SolidCAM Professor channel. Okay, HSR, HSM. Let me grab a part here. Let me close out of here. Okay, so some new things that they've added in there is edit geometry. Let's say you guys throw your toolpath on there and you want to modify the actual area that we want to cut on. So what we have in here now is if you right click on the operation, you can click edit HSR or HSM toolpath. So now what you guys can actually do is have a specific boundary set. So it kind of keeps it separate from the original, or you guys can do a Z level, or you can do a boundary and Z level combined together. With this functionality, it allows you to kind of come in here and create a basically kind of like a bounding box of area that you don't want it to touch, kind of like a check surfaces in the HSS feature. But now we can actually do a box in there. Same thing with the levels. So you guys can just say, I want just toolpath only from, this level here to this level here, and it's going to create that geometry for you guys. Nice thing you guys can do with that too is, let's say you guys are running toe clamps and you guys want to avoid those toe clamps. And we had that option before, but we couldn't specify, or we could specify a distance, but we didn't have a good visualization. So now what you guys can do is sketch, do a simple sketch on there and just tell it, do not touch this area, and it will keep it away for you guys. So I'll show you an example here. So let's say we have 4 corners that we don't want to touch. So you'll see over here on the left-hand side, we have toolpath coming all around there, but if we had toe clamps on there, we would completely avoid those. Now you will see some red lines coming across that, but remember that is up at your clearance plane. And so if we had a toe clamp in there, we can increase that clearance plane higher or lower to accommodate those. But this is completely new and nice feature that they added in there. And like I said, it's basically just sectioning off a certain area, telling it not to touch that specific area. So, and if I go down one more here, here's kind of talking about the Z levels. So if you guys just want a tool path just between 2 points, it will actually turn off any tool path, and it will, do tool path just on those Z levels. So you got a Z top and a Z bottom that you guys can pick from. Here's another kind of slide showing different strategies. So, over on the left-hand side, if we were to do a HSM, that tool path would wrap all the way around there. Well, if we just wanted to do everything but that front face, we can just do that boundary that we set up and tell it not to touch that area, and it will completely avoid that area that you guys specified that you guys wanted. Talking about Z levels again here, and you guys can actually do it as a sketch in a certain plane area here with the Z upper and lower, so kind of with them combined. So we just did a sketch on a plane, and it doesn't have to be on that surface. You guys can create a sketch on a plane above, below, it doesn't matter. It's just going to look at anything contained inside that box and keep it or leave it kind of deal. Kind of like I was talking about the toe clamps here, you guys can actually do a gouge check in the working area also. So if you guys wanted to do a, you guys can actually do a STL file, or you guys can just click on the toe clamps and it will pick those for you. I think this is actually, I'm pretty sure this has been in there before. Maybe they just improved it using the STL file, or actually picking on the model itself. But something new that they've added in there to kind of avoid those toe clamps. And like I said, if you guys wanted to, also, if you guys, if you had these toe clamps on here and you want to draw a sketch around those and kind of keep a nice bounding area around it, that's when you guys can kind of come up here and do the toolpath edit, kind of like what we're doing right here. So. You have the option to customize those flyout bars. So what I was telling you guys before is we come up here, if we're doing new HSR, HSM, we can customize these. And let's say I don't ever use constant Z machining. We can actually eliminate that in there. So it's not a quick prompt. Now, if you guys do run across to it where you guys do need it, that's where you guys can kind of do the old school way of coming up here and doing a 3D HSM, and then you'll see all your options are all still there for you guys. But for the quick flag outs for you guys, like I said, these are customizable. I'm going to see if we can kind of get these for the HSS also for you guys, just because, inside HSS, kind of same thing as HSM, we have, quite a few different options in here for you guys. So if we can get those as flyouts, we're going to be adding those also. Same thing with engraving. We have the option to do 2D engraving, 3D engraving. Same thing with profile or drilling, if we're doing drilling, 3D drilling, or thread milling now, getting a flyout for those. So just kind of easy use for you guys on these, these ribbons. Still, after having these ribbons in here for the last, I don't know how many years, I still find myself coming over here right-click just because that's what I was trained on. That's what I did for how many years since 2007 of adding it. But these do make it things a lot easier for you guys. And these are fully customizable for you guys too. So, maybe if you guys wanted to have some of those 3D functions added into your 2D bar up here, if you guys have run like an ultra wide monitor, like my other computer, you guys can have quite a few added in here for you guys. So definitely add those in there. All right. So with the 5-axis, they've added quite a bit in here, but there's just a couple of talking points in here. for doing your step over, you can do an exact or approximate. Exact, kind of going over here on the left side, doing approximate kind of gives a more even toolpath calculation going through there for you guys. Holy cow, we got to get going here. I'm looking at the time. Another great suggestion that from, actually, I think it was Ronnie that brought this to our attention, is using the barrel nose, or Ronnie or Jeff, one of you guys, I can't remember who it was, but doing the barrel cutters. Doing a barrel bull nose cutter, or, this works really good for, using your HSS instead of just working on that tip to kind of utilize more of the side of the cutter there. So that is added in there for you guys. In the simultaneous, we do for the multi-blade machine, now supports doing a flat end mill, a bull nose end mill, and a lollipop cutter for you guys. So that was another suggestion. You guys do have the option. I don't know how many of you guys have the port machining. We'll be covering this and coming up soon. But if you guys just want to lock it down, before we only had the option to do 5-axis, but if you guys just want, just have a 4-axis machine, we can lock it down just to do 4-axis machining instead of having to do it on a 5-axis machine now. Simultaneous 5-axis common directions. You will find the single tool point orientation of the full tool path, picking off of the surface here, or drive points. This one, I guess I'm not too familiar with, but obviously there was a need for it, so we had it in there for you guys. Doing the multi-axis roughing, this feature doesn't get used a whole lot, but now you have the ability to do a stock surface. So you guys can actually grab that face and it will look directly on there, minimizing any air cutting. So before, you guys remember that we would go to the miscellaneous parameters and would go eliminate air cutting in there, kind of like the HSS. Now we have the ability to use that stock as a surface. So if you guys are using castings or whatnot, we're not machining and wasting any air cutting there. Also with the, so it's kind of the same thing here. You can do a 2D bounding box around it with that curve in there too. This one I'm not going to do too much on because we're actually going to be covering this in a night class coming up real soon, is converting HSM to 5-axis, keeping the tilt following the angle surface there. So I'm actually going to be kind of going over this in more detail coming up here. So the same thing with the screw machining. Now, thing that they added in here is same thing with the multi-blade, is adding the bull nose, ball nose, and flat end mills in here to kind of get that material removed faster. So you can kind of see in here, roughing it out with a flat end mill, and then coming back and finishing it off with a ball nose end mill to carry over those radiuses in there. So Machine Sim, we got to kind of buzz through this a little quick too, but with Machine Sim, we have the ability to, click on certain features in your machine here, and it will actually highlight for you guys. Also, let's see, so you guys can just right click on it also, and it will show different options for that Machine Sim. In the control bar here, this is kind of a nice one to have, is if you're always curious on what way your rotary table rotates, you can actually click on it now and it will show you arrows of which way it's going to be rotating for you guys on that particular one. So got a nice feature in there just to kind of get your head wrapped around what's going on with the machine. You guys can choose a rotation point on the Machine Sim. So if you guys don't have a 3D Connections mouse, space mouse, I think that's what they're called, you guys can actually put a point down there and do a rotate around that specific point. So now in here that they've done is, I actually talked about this a few weeks ago when we were actually doing this particular part here is before, in Solid Verify, we're able to remove that unwanted material. Now we're able to do that also with the, if you guys have slugs in the machine sim, as soon as it finishes off that cut, it will automatically disappear for you guys. So you guys can do, you guys can bounce around using the tool length mode. This is one that I still have to play with a little bit to kind of figure out the benefit of it, but I guess you can jump to any position in that specific area and it will automatically jump to it. We always had that progress bar at the very bottom. I kind of use that more than anything, but just another option for you guys here. Now, when you guys do have a crash, you guys will get a nice large warning, and you can do it for all gouges. Similar one. This is pretty close to what we were doing in Solid Verify. Had a customer request that they wanted the Solid Verify to kind of do with the same thing as with the machine sim. So we can say, yes, I'd like to continue, or no, and stop for each one. Like I said, you do have the option to pick different collisions or, pair this collision up. So you'll get a nice warning for you guys saying it's going to crash. Here's your stop notifications. You can do it for all conditions. A little bit more in the machine sim stuff here. You can put in their values for the crash, all that good stuff. Kind of buzz through these a little bit. You guys can, do start axes. A lot of this is kind of set up for you guys automatically with the post, but you guys can modify those in here, making things visible, turning things on and off and that sort of thing. You guys can do absolute and incremental values also now. So if you guys want to see it in your machine sim, you guys can go to your SolidCAM settings for a machine sim, and you can display the simulation in both, or like I said, do part-based coordinate system or absolute machine values, or you can show both. So, all right. So in general here, let me populate back over to, hop out of here real quick. It's still closing down that, and for those that you guys are running with zip files, if you guys close out of a large file, and you'll notice things will kind of slow down just for a second or two here. What it's still doing is it's still zipping up that project behind the scenes. So this, if you guys are running in compressed mode, and I hope that you guys are running in compressed mode, especially if you guys are working on the server, which eliminates a ton of lag time. Do and compress because it's everything saved locally. For those guys that didn't know that. Let's just do this one. So with our updated stock, if we turn this on now, we have the option to kind of show updated stock, but let's say I just wanted to see the updated stock for just the first two operations. I can actually click and drag this up right here and show the updated stock. So if we do show 3D, it's going to show me what I've done previous to that. Also in here, we can actually do settings, and we can change our color of our transparency for a machine stock or rest material. So you can kind of see in here, but if I turn this up, you can see that gets definitely darker in there, so you guys can see a good contrast. Also, we can change the color finally. Maybe. I'm going to try going yellow here. Oh, maybe I have to change up my transparency a little bit higher. Well, it should be changing yellow for us. That way it's not gray on gray here. I'll have to look and see what I'm doing wrong here for that, but it will pop up whatever color that you specify. And if it doesn't, give me a call and we'll get it figured out here. So that's a nice feature that they added in here, and you guys can click and drag this box right here on the left-hand side wherever you want, and it will populate that updated stock for you guys. So, so if we want to turn that off, just uncheck it or check it back on, but you can see I don't have any stock in the center and all. So pretty cool feature there. And yep, just cover that. Also, when you guys do your simulation, you guys can actually do, I'm just going to pull up a simulation here. Simulate. If you do stop on next, you guys can actually pick, do you want it to stop on next tool change, feed rate, rapid move. They've added the Z plunge now in there too. So I'm not sure how many of you guys actually use this, but it's a nice feature that in there, so it automatically will stop on each tool change for you guys. One other thing that actually Steve pointed out to me today is you guys can actually show your cycle times in here, and I didn't even know this. So if you guys go to your CAM tree view and do a show machine time, it will actually show you guys the actual machine time that it takes to machine that part. So real kind of cool.
You mean a sales guy added value
yeah,
once?
Yeah. I figured that was coming.
All right.
And
every once in a while, once a decade.
Yeah, there you go. I'm not sure when they added this in here. Steve actually just told me about it before we actually started here. And I'm not sure if this is new with 17 or 16. This is the first time I have actually come and kind of ran across this, but you guys can show 16. There you go, Ronnie. Thank you.
Yep.
To show the time in there. And I didn't even completely.
Kind of handy, Kevin, because you could explore some different strategies, right, and really squeeze out some time right on.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. So that definitely help you out. And some of these I don't have times in here, and it could be just because I don't have a feed rate in there. Let's do a save. If we just do a save and calculate here. Yeah, it could just be. Oh, the drills blank out. Okay. So I guess we'll have to, I'll get that turned in so we can get those drills showing up for you guys. But any profile, pocket, anything but drilling will show up with a cycle time for you guys. So let's see. And now we have the flyout menu. So if you guys have a ton of machine options in here, you guys can actually click the flyout and so I'll just kind of get to that right here under machine options. So this one we only have a couple different machine options, but with some of the custom posts out here, this gets to be quite a long list in here. So you can actually click the flyout menu and click and drag this and make it as big as you guys want, put that on a different screen and kind of go through your whole list of things. This also is in miscellaneous parameters right here, also with a flyout, so you guys can kind of see what's going on and make these bigger. There we go. Now, one thing that kind of came up a couple of weeks ago is every once in a while you guys will get an error that pops up, and some of the message will be cut off. So maybe it will look like, error, and it will kind of look like that, and you guys can't read it. Definitely click and drag and move these around, and so you guys can see the entire error to see what field is missing for you guys. So, all right. And now you have the ability to, we're just kind of talking about this, but if you guys are running in a uncompressed state and you just want to send it off to one of the other guys' computers, you guys can do a send to and send it off as a non-compressed now. So as a request from a customer here. So, excuse me. So you could, instead of having to do in a PRZ file. So now we have the ability to do a PRT file as well. And hey, that's it. One other big thing is, let me see if I can pull this up real quick. We have the ability to now, we're actually, we're kind of beta testing this specific feature right now, but let me just grab it real quick. And for those of you guys that are running parts with lots of holes, lots of pockets, when you guys do a checkbox and it's taking a while to kind of get everything synced up, we do have a feature now to eliminate all that stuff in there. So like I said, this kind of came up with, if you guys are running a part, let's say with 1,000 holes in there or 10,000 holes in there, the SolidCAM would kind of bog down a little bit. Let me just find it real quick here. I have it. Let's see. And no, let me get here. Sorry, I should have had this one pulled up, but I just remembered at the last second here. Dang, I got everything in my way. Okay, I'm just opening up a PowerPoint, and let's get this over here. So now we have the opportunity to optimize the geometry. I'm not going to go into the et cetera of everything here, but what this will do is, like I said, you have a part with 1,000 holes in there. You guys will notice that it did take a while to kind of calculate all those holes, kind of get the geometry lined up. Get 3,000 holes. So now we have, we did a little test right here. So it's, kind of example of just doing a comparison. This is actually just for internal use only, but I want to show you guys kind of what we kind of the development came up with for doing all these holes and whatnot. It is a lot faster. Had one customer actually do this on a regular basis. Now, to get this option, actually, I'm not going to kind of go over it. If you guys want this option turned on, let me know. It is a feature in the CAM experimental mode that we'll just type in there, and as a 32-word bit character in there. But by turning this on, you will see a dramatic increase of, decrease of time that it takes to kind of calculate up your parts. So if this is something that you guys are doing with lots of holes, lots of pockets, large parts also that are taking a little bit longer to load up, this is kind of like like I said, in the beta phases right now, and it's proven out to work absolutely amazing. But then once we add that in there, you guys will see a checkbox right here. It says create new CAM parts with optimized geometry database. And that option will be there. You guys can go back through your old parts and actually resync up your old ones by going to the right click on your CAM, and then it says parentheses your part name, go down to the bottom and click the optimized geometry database. Also, when you guys create or open up any older files, you do have the option to add it right here also. So I see this being real big. Like I said, it is in the kind of the beta phase right now. I'm guessing soon as Service Pack 2 comes out of SolidCAM 2017, this will be on beta and it'll just be automatically added in there. But for those of you guys that are looking, or that have already went to 17 or looking to go to 17, let me know if this is something that you want to add in there, and I can definitely get that added to you or send you off these instructions. And it's all in your registry. And some guy, there's a lot of stuff you guys can mess up in the registry. So if you guys are comfortable doing it, have at her. I'll send you the instructions for it. If you guys aren't comfortable doing it, give us a call, and we will be glad to add this functionality for you guys. So it's going to be a huge benefit for you guys with the 17 feature. All right, I think that about wraps up. I know we went a little late here, but do we have any questions that came up? We do have one here. At the end, if you could give me the link for the iMachine webinar on September 16th. Oh. Yeah, let's see, the 16th. Steve, what webinar was that one again?
Was that the one we forgot to I think we missed recording that one, Kevin.
Did we?
That was the one we had some technical difficulties, I think.
Let me look here.
Yeah, that would have been the most recent one, right?
Let's see. September 6th.
Yep, it would have been. Sorry, yep. Ben. Yeah, that one we did have a little hiccup with our systems and didn't get that one recorded. But Kev, we probably have another one we could send them.
Yeah, absolutely, Ben. If you're looking for that one, definitely we can send you one, Ben. And if you want, Ben, shoot me. Tell you what, because when this GoToWebinar ends, I kind of lose all the chat that comes with it. So Ben, if you could shoot me an email if you want one of the other live cuts that we did, I can definitely send that over to you too.
Yep.
Thanks. Nice to see all the new features. Can't wait to be able to play around with it myself. Would love to be. Ben, if you want 17 right now, or any of you guys, if you guys want 17, shoot that over to me, and I will get you guys set up on SolidCAM 17. I talked last week a little bit on it that, you know, if you guys are running a 5-axis, we just want to double check your post just to make sure. There's no charge for this at all. We don't do that like other, we won't go there.
Yeah.
We just don't do that. So we will get you guys hooked up. But if you guys are running just, you know, 3 or 4 axis indexing, definitely get you guys switched over right away. There's been no issues with that, with the post or anything like that. So. Yeah, sorry, George. I should have broke it up into 2 parts. There's a lot here. I was thinking I could get it all done, but ran a little long. But
cool.
Copy. Okay, perfect. Any other questions, guys? Like I said, you know, I definitely have no problem spending extra time and answering any questions you guys have with 17. You know, if there's any more stuff that you guys want to see in more detail, definitely let me know. Or if I whiz through a certain portion of it too fast, let me know, and I can kind of do a little makeup video of this on certain areas of it. I know I kind of spun through the machine sim a little fast, but yeah, a lot of great stuff that they added in here, and like I said, a lot of it has come right from you guys. So.
Kev, there was a question, anything high level, just changes, additions to the turning module?
Yeah, they did. I'm actually waiting for development to send me a more, let me kind of get back up at the top here. So turning, I only have a couple of pages here for turning. I know they've added more in here that's not in this document here. We have the option to use the cycle. You have the option to do patterns now when you're doing the thread, I want to say thread milling, but threading on the patterns in there. Also, we have the minimum step down that we've added in there for you guys. So just do like kind of a minimum step down versus, you know, just a regular step down. So that option has been added in there. Doing feed points. So you guys want to hit a certain section of there, we can. The older version was, I guess, maybe a little clunkier. Now we have a full out menu for the feed points to kind of get more, see a little bit more and a little bit ease of use, I guess. Just added in your tabs here. Same thing with parting off. Mm-hmm.
Oh, I thought you were done. I was just going to add, as I understand it too, they're continuing to try to fold in some of the iMachining, technologies into the turning module, is what I've been told too.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, they're, like I said, this is just I think this is actually the last slide of it. Let me look here. Yeah, they have added more in here. And George, when we do the turning class, I'm going to get that full document from them. And so we'll cover all that in the turning portion too, or maybe we'll do a quick video of the turning of what's new in there too. But yeah, there's a lot of great new stuff they add in there. And like I said, if you guys have any questions at all, you guys have my email address. It's in the chat for you guys, or give me a call, 866-975-1115 extension 2. Shoot those over to me in email, and I will get those questions answered for you guys, or just give us a call on the support desk too, and any one of the guys will be able to address those issues for you guys. But
Kev, you got the topic for next week nailed down yet, or?
I don't even know. Let me just take a peek real quick. Webinars, night class. So, no problem. Contour 5-axis machining and doing the 3 to 5-axis convert. This one may have somebody else actually teach it. I have to go play Farmer John again. We could try to do it live from the tractor, but might not be so efficient for you guys. But so I may have somebody kind of cover this one right here for you guys. But kind of working through our 5-axis stuff and kind of give you guys a layout of how it's kind of going here is, so we're going to do next week the contour, then we're going to get over to the convert 3 to 5-axis conversion. Then we're going to go to rotary machining, screw machining. Depending on if you guys want this, the port machining is kind of an iffy one. And like I said, if you guys want to see it, we'll definitely do it. I have no problem doing it. The multi-blade. Then we're actually going to be running to the turning side of things. So we got a couple more weeks left in the 5-axis stuff, and then we're going to get over to the simple 2D, work our way up to the advanced, turning, simple turning, and then into the advanced turning and advanced mill turn for you guys. So that's kind of the agenda. And then we're kind of some of the suggestions that have come in from you guys. I've pulled some of those into the night classes already. And like I said, there's a whole slew of them that I haven't yet either. So they're coming. But,
perfect.
Steve, anything else that I'm missing?
Nope, I think that nailed it. I'll thank everybody on the call for their business for sure and their time this evening. Again, the goal is to make the software as productive as possible for you and not be looking to charge you for every little thing we do for you.
Yeah, absolutely. And thanks again for joining tonight, guys. I know we had to kind of switch up things and switch around for instead of doing these on Wednesday nights, doing them on Tuesday nights. So hopefully that kind of still works out for everybody. I see a couple people missing and some new names in here. So hopefully it kind of irons out, but they will be going here on out every Tuesday night instead of every Wednesday night. So I appreciate you guys taking that change good, but no problem at all, Ronnie. But yeah, guys, have a wonderful night. And like I said, any questions, concerns pop up, let me know. Give us a call on the support desk or give your account manager a call and we will get you guys fixed up right away. So, all right, guys, have a wonderful night and we will see you guys next Tuesday.
All right. Thanks, Kev.
All right. Bye, guys.